Okay, so this wasn't a video that I was really expecting to make, and I'm gonna be real, it's 11 o'clock at night right now, and yeah, I just needed to get this video out because there has been a massive situation to fellow Brit, Atsu, who also uploaded this about like 10 o'clock at night his time, and yeah, if you don't remember what happened with Atsu, I do have a video in the past which you can go and watch and just, catch up with everything that he's done in a little bit more detail. But what pretty much happened was he got in a little bit of drama involving Braxophone and Tectone. Now, what did he do? Well, there was a lot of stuff that he did, including alienating a lot of Genshin Impact content creators, especially whenever it comes to getting into the little niche group that he was a part of. And Braxophone found himself, a victim of this, and Atsu was pretty much to blame for everything. Now, obviously, there was so much more to it, and yeah, there's been so many developments which I made follow-up videos on, and pretty much it just didn't look good for Atsu, and it ended up with him pretty much leaving the space. I mean, yes, he still made videos, but his videos didn't perform nowhere near as good as they used to, and yeah, he's just pretty much been on a down at the moment. And he did actually put out a tweet. Now, I can't actually look at this tweet because, yeah. But he did put out a tweet, I remember a few weeks ago, of him saying that he's going to be slowing down and maybe taking a break or even quitting permanently from content creation. And he was just fulfilling his last sponsors so he could make a bag, which is fair enough. And after all of the drama stuff ended a couple of months ago, I really thought we weren't going to see much from Atsu. I thought, yeah, maybe he's just going to quit and that's going to be it. We're never going to see him again. He's never going to speak again because he did provide a follow-up with some evidence and stuff, which again, no one really took very seriously. But now it's months later down the line and he's released a 34-page document. Now, I know there's a lot of you who have an attention span like me and don't even care about reading every single page of this 34-page document. Now, yes, there's probably some of you out there, and there's many content creators that are currently making videos on this. I know that Hexjuice is currently streaming and reading through the entire thing. So if you want to go over to her channel and, look through the entire document, then, go ahead, because I'm sure that she'll give a pretty good insight into what's going on. And I'm sure there's other content creators out there too that are also going to be doing this. And yeah, I just wanted to quickly kind of summarize everything that's going on in this document and what he talks about, and just try to keep you up to date without boring you with some 2-hour-long video of me reading through literally every single apology and every single excuse for everything that he's done ever, pretty much. Well, especially on his time in content creation. So pretty much he starts off this document by saying, to whoever may be reading this document, I hope you're well, and I also hope that for many of those reading, especially from my community, that what I'm about to share will provide respite and clarity for the past 4 months. In order to protect the peace of other creators, the communities involved, as well as my own friends, I've kept things to myself, and I often regret not sharing sooner. I ended up taking the fall for things that had nothing to do with me or were simply untrue from the drama involving Braxophone, Tectone, and myself in February. So pretty much what this document says is a lot of stuff regarding a lot of the drama that happened months ago, and I think it was 4 months ago, as he says in this document. And I don't know if I'm the only one here, but I think it's a little bit too late. I think all of this has kind of moved on. I mean, a lot of content creators, including the main ones that are involved in this, Braxophone and Tectone, haven't talked about this since, really. And, it went on for a couple weeks, and then it just ended. And I think, honestly, if you just left it at that, you would have been fine. Now, yeah, maybe people would still be, arguing with you and making fun of you for everything that happened, but that's kind of what you get for everything that you've done. I mean, there is a lot of horrible things that you have done in the community, and I've read through quite a bit of this, and you do try to make excuses, and, sometimes you do apologize for this, which is totally acceptable, and I mean, everyone who you have affected deserves an apology. Now, in this first kind of page here, he talks about everything going on with his life, rather than, talking about other content creators and what's going on with them, but pretty much he says he's been having a really, really hard time for the past couple of months, and that he's even considered offing himself, which is never a good thing. And obviously, I would never, wish that upon anyone. So I really hope that he does get some help and that he's okay. But yeah, it's really, really sad to see that. But also at the same time, a lot of this first part is very sad. And I get it. It's really sad. And I definitely feel sorry for what's happened to him. But most of this document is then going after other creators and just, being pretty much unhinged and uncensored on what his opinions are on them. And whether they're wrong, whether they're right, or whether they've done wrong to him, or whether they haven't, etc. And this first bit here just kind of is a little bit feel sorry for me kind of thing. It feels like that a ton. And I mean, you didn't really have to include that. I mean, yes, there's obviously a lot of your community who does care about you and wants to know where you've been. But honestly, I would separate these two into 2 documents. And yeah, I think it's better to keep the personal and the calling out other content creator side of it separate, because it definitely comes across as feel sorry for me, please. please feel sorry for me and listen to me because, you know, this has all happened. Now, yes, I must stress that everything that's happened has been very, very, very bad. And, you know, I feel very sorry for him. I would never want anyone to go through that. But at the same time, separate it. I mean, it's the easiest thing. And seeing as you didn't separate it, it feels like you are trying to garner a bit of sympathy here. And what he also discusses is his wife, Nekopi. I honestly don't really know who she is, but apparently she is, you know, pretty big on social media too. And apparently she was actually having an affair. And they're going through the process of divorce, it seems like. And they've been together for 10 years, which again, is very, very sad. And I do feel sorry for him. But again, maybe separate what's going on, because let's be real, it does really sound like you're trying to garner some sympathy, and I don't think your wife having an affair really has anything to do with the rest of this document. I mean, yes, it does kind of add to your whole mental state and explains why you've been so unhappy all of the time, but again, put it in separate things, and I honestly think that would have been a much better response. But pretty much, if you want to know about the rest of this document, a lot of it is just quite redundant and boring, because this drama has been over for ages, and I don't think anybody really cares anymore. I mean, yes, there's going to be a lot of you who care about, you know, Atsu being back and everything, but the rest of this document, he pretty much just goes through every single one of his friends, every single one of the content creators that have called him out, every single content creator that's made a video on him. Well, not every single, because I'm not included in there, but, you know, most of them, most of the big ones at least. Granted, I wasn't very big at the time, so, you know, I can kind of get why. But yes, he pretty much just goes through trying to explain everything and trying to apologize for stuff, and also just trying to make excuses for stuff. I mean, there's a lot of like mixed stuff. Like, he does apologize for a lot of things, but he also does just go after content creators because, you know, he's at his lowest point. Why not just take the shots at random people? Because, you know, he's got nothing else to lose, and he might as well reveal all of this to the public. And pretty much this whole thing is him trying to debunk a lot of the claims that was made against him a couple months ago. And so much of this is him calling out like his own friends that he's made out over the years. Now, like, a lot of this is to do with like Toronto and Dish. I mean, he calls them out a lot, and, you know, it's varied. As I said, it's super varied in like apologies, in calling people out, in, you know, making up excuses, etc., etc. But what the moral of this is that nothing has really changed, to be honest. Nothing has really changed. He's, you know, called out a ton of people for doing stuff, but to be honest, nothing here is absolutely nuclear, I would say. It's just him trying to explain everything for himself, whether that's wrong or right. I mean, that's for you to decide and go through this document. But yeah, he finally ends this by saying he's going to be taking a break from content creation and YouTube and streaming regularly on Twitch, and that maybe he'll be back a few times, you know, just doing random streams. But pretty much he's just going to try sort his life out, because yes, ever since the entire drama, his life has probably been hell. I could imagine how bad it's been. And honestly, you know, even though he has done a lot of horrible stuff, I do feel sorry for anyone that's going through anything like this. But at the same time, you know, he had it coming to him. Like, I'm not trying to say that he deserves this. Like, I don't say he's deserving all of the sad stuff that's happened to him, but he's done so much over the years where it's like, it is partially his fault. And I think it's kind of stupid to make a big document saying it's your fault, it's their fault, it's all the content creators' fault. It's not my fault, it's their fault. That's why I'm feeling this way. I think a lot of it is his fault for, you know, everything that he's done. And I don't think that he should be, you know, blaming all of these people. He specifically named a lot of content creators here. He's left a list. I'll find them down here. And it says pretty much open letters and apologies, where he apologizes and makes letters to lots of content creators, pretty much just saying sorry. I mean, a lot of them just say sorry. I mean, he made one to Tectone where he said sorry. And yeah, in alphabetical order, he sends a letter to Aaron Hungry, Asmongold, Bran Online, Box2, Braxophone, Dish, Elo TV, Bobmaster, Gacha Smack, Gratis Status, Useg, Hyun2, Island XD, Mina Aoyama, Minslif, Mr. Pokey, Mtash, Mujin, Rin Taicho, Sekapoko, Sevi Plays, Sip Stefan, Some Ordinary Gamers, Tectone, 1010, The Jonathan, Tuwanto, Unreal Dreamer, Ying, and Zio. So all of these are massive creators in, you know, Genshin and Gacha gaming, you know, a couple of these like Asmongold, and I think there's a couple others. I mean, I recognize most of these. There's a couple of them that I don't. But yeah, all of these are mostly involved in gacha gaming and, you know, are massive creators in Genshin Impact. And he's left a letter for every single one that he's talked about here, either saying sorry or saying that, you know, you're a hypocrite, or, you know, you're saying that Gacha Smag's a hypocrite here. So a lot of this, he's either calling out people or apologizing to them and just kind of setting things straight for himself. Maybe if that's a way to, you know, make himself feel better. I know for some people it does, you know, make them feel that way. So again, maybe he's apologizing and calling out all these people for a more personal reason, which is totally okay. But again, I don't know if releasing it to the public was the best idea. Yeah, as I said, Atsu is going to be leaving and probably will be gone for a little bit of time. And he also put underneath here that he's okay. So if any of you are worrying that like maybe he's not okay and this is why he's making this big apology, is because maybe he's going to go try attempt something again. It's not that. He says that he's okay, and I hope that he's, you know, doing fine. I mean, you know, it's kind of hard to talk about this because obviously I never want anything like this to happen to anyone. It's a horrible thing. And I totally get like how this could affect someone. But at the same time, he has done a lot of bad for the community. And honestly, I just think if we leave it at this and people read this and Atsu never comes back, I think we'll be okay. So again, I just wanted to update you guys on everything that's going on. If you want to read this document, it's on his Twitter. Not that I can see it, but yeah. If you want to read this, it's on there. And as I said, there's going to be a lot of other content creators covering this. I'm pretty sure Tectone is live right now as I'm recording, talking about all of this. So again, this is a massive, massive situation. And yeah, he's pretty much just calling out every single content creator, apologizing, making up excuses, the whole lot, just kind of trying to bring more information to this, even though, you know, some of it may be true, some of it may not be true. We don't know. We're going to have to find out, and people are going to like analyze certain points in this. But yeah, it seems like he's throwing a lot of his friends under the bus here too. So yeah, it's just extremely sad to see someone, you know, fall down to this level. But as I said, you know, he's done a lot of bad, and I feel like this was coming. Really, I think this was coming. As bad as it sounds, I think this was, you know, something that was going to happen, especially with all of this hate. I couldn't fathom taking in all of this hate and being okay after it. So again, although it's a terrible thing, and as I said, overall, I think this is the last we're going to see of Atsu. He said he might do another live stream trying to explain everything that's going on. And I feel like he's just burned a ton of bridges with a ton of friends, sponsors, and everything if he ever wants to get back into content creation in the future. So again, I'm pretty sure this is a kind of really self-destructive letter, which has kind of like prevented him from even coming back, which may be a good thing, to be honest, because maybe he can get his life in order and do something else other than content creation, because it seems like he's kind of, you know, messed this up big time now. And yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see if anything else evolves from this, and if any other content creators have anything to say. And obviously there's going to be a couple replies coming out from a ton of these content creators that have been, you know, sent a letter or sent a message. So again, we'll have to see, and I will definitely keep you updated if anything massive happens. Obviously, you know, if something really small happens about like the whole evidence stuff, who cares? I'm not going to be keeping you updated of that. But I hope that I've informed you on everything that's going on in this situation, as I did previously whenever this whole thing kicked off. So yeah, that's everything that's happening, and I will see you in the next one. That's all. See ya.